We know that you.
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethic obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Kash Patel takes no prisoners as he shuts down Senator Patty Murray in a high-stakes Senate hearing. From exposing misinformation to defending the frontline agents of the FBI, Patel brings the facts and fury. In a fiery Senate hearing that lit up Capitol Hill, Kash Patel faced off against Democratic Senator Patty Murray, and what followed was nothing short of a political beatdown. With truth as his weapon and facts as his armor, Patel dismantled Murray's claims of FBI politicization and turned the tables on accusations aimed at Donald Trump's Justice Department. Stay tuned. This is one exchange you'll want to watch until the end. Without wasting much time, let's dive right in.
Let me ask you about the NICS system. The FBI is really on the front lines of keeping guns out of the hands of very dangerous criminals. The NICS serves a really critical role in enhancing national security and public safety by conducting background checks. You know this. They are supported by the vast majority of American people, and I wanted to ask you this morning, will you commit to continuing to fund and run the FBI background check system?
Yes.
Thank you. I want to ask one final question here, Mr. Chairman. I want to talk again about how the FBI is focusing its resources. President Trump has turned the Department of Justice into a tool to go after his perceived enemies, and many of the actions we have now seen at the FBI are alarming. The FBI has reassigned and pushed out career FBI agents for political reasons. We have seen fear and intimidation promoted throughout the Bureau, including by polygraphing your own staff. We've seen the arrest of a sitting judge in Wisconsin. And during your confirmation hearing, you committed that there would be no politicization, no retribution at the FBI under your leadership. You've reportedly placed FBI employees responsible for investigation January 6 cases on leave. Is that keeping up your promise of no politicization, no retribution?
It is, because that's wildly inaccurate. Let me tell you what the FBI has done since I got there. 8,276 federal arrests, to 820 kilograms seized of fentanyl. That's enough to kill 250,000 people. Over 3,000 firearms seized, 350 gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent criminals.
That's not my question. We know that you...
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethic obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI, and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain. Thank you,
We are.
Chairman.
Senator Kennedy.
In a hearing packed with political undertones and loaded questions, Kash Patel didn't just defend himself, he dominated. What was clearly an attempt by Senator Patty Murray to paint the FBI under his leadership as a tool of political retribution quickly unraveled in the face of Patel's precision, facts, and unwavering confidence. While Murray leaned on partisan narratives and assumptions, Patel stayed rooted in evidence. He laid out real results. Over 8,000 arrests, hundreds of kilograms of fentanyl seized, enough to kill hundreds of thousands, thousands of illegal firearms recovered, and relentless operations targeting gangs and violent offenders. These are not the actions of a politicized agency. They are the hallmarks of an institution getting back to its core mission: law enforcement and public safety. When accusations flew about the treatment of January 6th investigators and past analysts involved in the Russia probe, Patel didn't flinch. He made it clear. Anyone placed on leave had violated ethical standards, not political ones. His message was simple and powerful. Justice applies to everyone equally, regardless of their political alignment. There is no room for corruption, and there's no tolerance for weaponization, on either side. And when Senator Murray tried to twist his words, Patel pushed back firmly. "You're putting words in my mouth, and I won't tolerate that." That wasn't just a defense of himself. It was a stand for the many men and women in the FBI who have been dragged through political mud while risking their lives to protect Americans. But perhaps the most powerful moment came when Patel reminded the chamber of his own story, how he himself had been a target of a politicized justice system. Now, as the man tasked with fixing it, he's not there to settle scores. He's there to restore integrity. Kash Patel didn't just survive this hearing, he seized it. In the face of political pressure, he stood tall, laid out the facts, and showed the American people what leadership rooted in truth and accountability really looks like. In a time when narratives often matter more than facts, Patel proved that substance still wins. Don't forget to like and subscribe.